So hello and welcome everyone. So just have to be a little careful because it is a little more busy than last year. I saw someone already responding to that. But there are a lot of people over here on paddle boards, on little boats and everything. So hi, but welcome in a fairy tale, and there are several other people this year that want to see it too. And I was here. That's true. I was here last year. I'm almost going into the site. I was here last year, and then it was just the start of very bad weather, of a lot of lightning or thunderstorm that would come over me. So this year is a little different. It's a beautiful, really beautiful night. So a lot of people are coming over here, of course, to see this. By the way, my name is Stefan. I'm gonna guide you today. We're gonna listen to some music because this is also the idea of a calm tour. But of course, I'm also gonna tell you something about Kinderdijk and where we are and everything. So, but I have to be a little more careful for all the boats that are literally everywhere. So I have some little lights on my kayak, but still, a lot of people don't have any lights at all. So I have to be careful. So, but welcome in Kinderdijk. That is where we are right now, and I'm gonna change the screen because we're now officially starting the tour. Welcome to everyone. So hopefully everyone said hi to each other that you wanted to do, and I'm gonna change the screen. One moment. Hopefully, by the way, you can also hear me well. You can still see it is the sun just went down about, I think, about 30 minutes ago. So it's just the start of the night. The first windmills are already lit up, are already illuminated, and more will follow. It will get dark bit by bit. So sound and picture are very good. Okay, that's at least good to know, because I'm not using my earphones. I'm just talking to all of you, and we of course have a beautiful view. I have to be careful to go to the other side between all the boats, and it's really quite busy. It's almost the Amsterdam canals now this year. I think too many people were seeing my tour from last year and decided this year, let's go here ourselves. And maybe in the meantime you can also see now and then the mosquitoes. There are a lot of mosquitoes going over. So it's just after sunset, so I'm a target. I'm a target for all the mosquitoes coming over here. So, but look how beautiful it is over here already. So we are in Kinderdijk, and Kinderdijk is a little village just 15 kilometers, about 9 miles away from the bigger city of Rotterdam. And from Amsterdam, where I am coming from, of course, it is about 1 hour and 20 minutes by car. So also not that far away, but from Rotterdam is only 15 minutes. So that's why earlier today, maybe some of you were seeing it. Earlier today I was in Rotterdam doing a tour over there. Okay, I'm just going to the other side of the water to make sure that I'm not hit by boats. Just have to be a little careful for that. No, but I'm in the lovely village, or nearby the lovely village of Kinderdijk. And Kinderdijk is the Dutch word for child's or children's dijk. Children's dijk. So plural, children's dijk. And there are several stories where this is coming from. And I want to share at least 2 of these stories with you while we are paddling over here and the windmills are lit, as you can see, and we will just paddle and have a really calm tour today. So and how did I get my kayak over here, Susan? I was going by car, so yeah, almost 1.5 hours by car, and I had my inflatable kayak with me because my kayak is inflatable, so hopefully there are no the mosquitoes cannot find that. Are not big enough that they can no, it is an inflatable kayak, so hopefully it will stay one more evening at least. and that there's nothing sticking out of the water that can damage it. So no, but back to Kinderdijk, Children's Dike. So there are several stories about it, but two of them I want to tell. One of them is people are saying like, okay, this name is coming from the time. The first time it was on paper, it was in the year 1421, and in 1421 that was the year of a very big flood. And what happened? What happened is that they need to make the dikes over here in this area, because it's the dike of the kids. They have to make it a little higher. So they had to make the dike higher, and one of the stories goes that they were doing that with child labor. So the dike over here was literally built by kids with child labor. That is one story. That is a short story, but there is also another one, and that one I love a little more. And we again have to go back to the year 1421. The year 1421 in the Netherlands is also famous as one of the years with one of the biggest floods that we ever had in the Netherlands. A flood that was coming from the rivers, because the Netherlands, Tisha is coming now, because the Netherlands is a land that's at the end of several big rivers. Two big rivers, the Maas River and the Rhine, are ending over here in the Netherlands. They're ending over here, so that means that we are over here in the delta. And several times, of course, there was a lot of water coming from the Alps. It's all coming from the Alps in the end. And one time was in the year 1421 when we had the big flood. We were calling it the St. Elizabeth's flood. And of course, a lot of parts of the country were underwater, the lower parts of the Netherlands, also the area around Kinderdijk. And people were trying to escape the water, and how they were doing that by staying on the dikes, because the dikes were a little higher. Several dikes were breaking, but still it was the safest place to be high on the dike. And then one day the flood was just over, and people were starting to check. The water was going down. They were standing here on the dike, and then a little further away in the water, they were seeing something. There was something floating. Something was floating in the water. And when it came more nearby, they were seeing that it was a cradle. A cradle was floating in the water, and they were seeing on the cradle there was a cat, and this cat was jumping forwards and backwards, jumping all the time to make sure that the cradle was not sinking, because there were of course still waves. So the cat was going up and down to make sure that the cradle was stable. I have to be a little careful here for another boats, to make sure that the cradle was stable. And when the cradle came more nearby, people were seeing that there was not only a cat in the cradle, there was also a little kid. A little baby was in the cradle, and it ended up over here on the dike. So that's the reason why they start calling it Kinderdijk, as the place where the kid was found. And to be honest, this story about the cradle and the cat became quite famous. You maybe heard about the cradle and the cat, or the cat and the cradle. There were even some songs after that. I'm not gonna play that song because that's not fitting completely in the theme of this evening. But it is a lovely story about where the name is coming from. By the way, there are 3 more stories, but I'm not gonna do all 3 of them because they are less interesting. But let's play some more music while we're paddling a little further between the boats and the windmills. Okay, oh yeah, the lights, that's the competition, that's true. So welcome back after this calming music. We're nearby one of the windmills, one of the in total 19 windmills that we have over here. And you can also maybe also hear all the geese over here. So this area is also quite famous for all the geese that are coming over here. And now is the time, although today it was a hot day, it is the time that they will go back to warmer parts of the world. So they're flying back. But I want to tell you also a little more about these light up windmills that we see over here. Because of course, originally there was only that dike. That was the start. Only the dike of Kinderdijk. Look, by the way, how beautiful the reflection is over here. The reflection of the windmill. No, there was only the dike, but the people over here, the population was growing, and the population also, they were living on the dike, and they wanted to have some more cattle. And most of their cattle, they were grazing first on the dike, and then they were thinking, how can we make sure to have some more space for our cows, for our goats and everything. So and what happened in the Netherlands already in the 13th century, we found out the windmill. The windmill to saw the wood, to grind things, all that kind of things were used with wind power. And then someone came up with the idea to use the same wind power to pump out the water. So what started to happen is that on areas like over here, little lakes and parts in the Netherlands that were swamps, for example, people were starting to place windmills next to the dike to pump out the water. So all these windmills over here, all the 19 ones over here in this area were used for that. So not for your breads, not to salt things, no, just to pump out the water, to keep our feet dry. So, but the only problem is in this area is that Kinderdijk, and I'm just gonna place it on my, in front of my kayak again. So then I can pedal some more, because I just wanted to show you how beautiful it is over here, because almost everything is beautiful. No, but what happened is that this area over here, just to give you an idea, it is about 5 to 6 feet under sea level. 5 to 6 feet under sea level. So that means that you have to pump 5-6 feet plus also to get the water over the dike. So the dike was also still there. And how to do that? That is not very easy. Even more if you think about these windmills that we have over here. They can pump, but the maximum that they could pump was about 3 to 4 feet. And to get over the dike, they had to come 11 to 12 feet. So that did not work with only one windmill. So what they designed is a whole system of different windmills in rows behind each other. So from the 19 windmills that we see over here, they were placed in 3 rows of 6 windmills, 18 in total, to make sure, while we're pedaling to the next one, by the way, to make sure that there's a lot of waves, because some of the boats are going too fast, not allowed, but okay, it's dark, no police anymore. No, but they needed 3 rows of windmills next to each other to pump the water, first 3 to 4 feet, and then 3 to 4 feet more, and then another 3 to 4 feet. So it was just working together to get the water all the way out of this lowlands, out of this polder, that's how we call it in the Netherlands, and to make sure that we had dry feet over here. So that's why there were so many windmills in this area. And to be honest, nowadays there's still 19 over here in this area. Yeah, over the whole of the Netherlands we have about 900 windmills, and that's only about 10% of what it used to be. So there was a day somewhere in the 16th, 17th century that we had about 10,000 windmills, and the majority in the western part of the Netherlands to pump out the water. Only some were used for other things, the majority to pump out the water. So a whole system for our country to keep our feet dry. And it's also not so strange if you think about that in the Netherlands, about 30% of our country is under sea level. I have to go a little to the side because there's another boat without lights. And Susan, that's a good question. Where is the water going out? It's going out in the river. Next to the lowlands where we are right now, there is the river. And the river, the water level in the river, I was just seeing it earlier today, is about 2 meters, so 6 feet higher than the level over here. So they're pumping it in the river, and that river is going to the sea to let the water out. So that is the system in the Netherlands, how we have dry feet for about 30% of our country. Of course, nowadays we don't use windmills anymore for that. We have more modern machines and pump stations, but this is how it started. This is how it started, and to be honest, in front of us we have one of the most beautiful ones. So, and this is an older one than the other ones. An older one and also a different, this one is not made from stone, but it's made from wood. And it is an older version and also a version of a windmill that you could easily remove. So after the work was done, you could place it in another location. And you have to imagine that in the time that we were pumping out the water of several locations, of swamps, of lakes, of even the sea, that after a while you reach the bottom, and then you need less windmills to keep on pumping. So at first you need more, and then you reach the bottom, and then you can stop with that. So that is why they had these kind of, let's call it IKEA windmills, that you could easily just set up from pieces of wood, and then later on you can remove it and build it up in another location. So, and this is a nice example for it. So, and by the way, this one is from the 17th century, while all the other windmills are from the 18th century. So it's also an earlier variation. There's a lot of boats again, so I'm just gonna play some music while we come nearby this windmill. One moment. look how beautiful it is everywhere. It's even hard for me to find the best position every time. So I'm just also have to be careful with all the other boats that are over here. But it's really a magical evening, even more because it's still so so warm. Today during the day it was about 32 degrees, and it is now still, I think, about 25 degrees. So earlier today 90 Fahrenheit, and it's now down to 80, but still quite warm. So, but it is it's really beautiful. I'm just gonna pedal back a little, and just if there are questions about what we're seeing, just let me know, because I was thinking I can combine it with some music and just pedal around, just showing both. But of course, if you have questions, just let me know, because that's also the idea of these tours, that everything you want to know I can tell. And it's very dark, there's no moon. Yeah, that's a good question. Where is the moon? I saw it earlier. I think it's not there yet. Maybe later on the moon will arrive. But yeah, it is getting dark now. But I think you can even see it better on your screen that I can see it in reality. So my phone is correcting it a little, making it a little lighter, so at least you can see something. So it's a good night version. Oh, and that's a good question. Bet is asking, are the windmills being lived in? And yes, they are. So nowadays, from the 19 windmills, they were in use, by the way, until World War II. So until 1940, and in 1940 they had already a new version ready, a new version of water pumps that were using oil instead of wind power, a little more reliable. Although we're now going back to wind power for a lot of things, of course, but they are they are, so just now I'm lost in my story. No, so they were used until the 1940s, and after that time a lot of the windmills, not only in this area but in different parts of the Netherlands, are removed because we had too much and we're not using them anymore. But still we have 900, and these 900 are protected, like also the 19 ones over here, and the 19 ones over here, 16 of them are windmills where people are still living, and 3 of them are so-called museum windmills. So museum windmills as in that you can visit them. So the one that we were just seeing before, the oldest one, that is a museum windmill, and 2 others too. So, but all the others are still a place where people live, and we have a nice system in the Netherlands that, because of course, so we have a nice system to make sure that our heritage, and these windmills of course are our heritage, that they keep in a good state. So we're asking people, and they can live here for free. But in return, you have to do the maintenance of the windmill, and that is a lot of work. So, and yeah, most of the people living over here are also official miller, so they don't get paid a lot for it. But yeah, they can just earn a small living, and at the same time living in a windmill. So, and Sue, were any destroyed during World War II? No, there were not so many windmills destroyed during World War II. The main destroyment was the Rotterdam harbor, and in Rotterdam there were some windmills in the city that were destroyed at that time. That is for sure. But in the rest of the country, not so many. So, and the interesting thing is that the Dutch, we were using even the windmills in the war. Because not only were the windmills used, of course, to pump out the water, but with the weeks you could also give signals. You can give signals if a situation is if there is a dangerous situation, for example. So that's what happened over here. So for example, if the weeks were standing like what we see here in front of us, then everything was okay, and they could also place the weeks diagonal, and that was then a sign, for example, for the resistance. Be careful, don't go out, Nazis are over here. So that kind of things where we're using the windmills for. So okay, I'm just gonna play some more music. Yeah, a secret. It's a secret garden, yeah. A secret, at least a secret place or a hidden gem. And what I'm always recommending people, if you come to the Netherlands and if you have the time to visit the windmills, and if you are here in summertime, then come in the evening. Because in the evening, I mean, now it is a special week, so there are a lot more people because of the windmills that are lit up, but they're only doing that 5 days per year, so that's only this week. But also in the evening, if you have a sunset, and earlier this evening there was a beautiful sunset, then you're almost on your own. So there are not a lot of other people coming, because the majority of people are coming during daytime. So and yes, Carol, it is for a special reason, because all of these windmills are still houses, or all of them, 16 of the 19 are still houses. So people are living over there. So you can maybe imagine that you don't want your house to be lit up every night. So it is just for a special occasion. So every year, 1 week in September, they're lighting it, and the rest of the year there are no lights. So then it will be completely dark when you're coming over here. Oh, that's a cute boat there we're just passing now. So yeah, it is a unique opportunity to see this right now over here. And yes, Polly, we're not gonna wait until not wait that long until the moon will rise, because then I will be eaten alive by the mosquitoes, because that's what you don't see. I have to keep on paddling, because otherwise there are so many mosquitoes. I see them flying around me the whole time. It's now, I think, too dark to see it in the screen still, but I can see some of them. But it is beautiful. It's really beautiful to see it. Yeah, but the moon will come at 11:18. That time I will be hopefully home already. So, and Kathleen, as always with my videos, is that I'm leaving them for about 12 hours for other people. And if you want to see this one and all the other ones, they stay there for people that are sponsoring me. So you can sponsor me for $5 or $10 a month, and in return what I'm offering is the videos of every tour that I'm doing, and it's at least 2 per week, and sometimes more. It depends a little, of course, on the weather and everything. But yeah, that is the ways. And that's also the thing that a lot of you are knowing, that some of you are most probably also watching, that these type of tours that I can, of course, the traveling and everything, I can only do cannot do without any support. So I'm really grateful for all the people, even more if you're becoming a sponsor, because then I can keep on doing all these travels in the Netherlands, also in Belgium sometimes. And just to give you an idea, for today, earlier today, I did a tour in Rotterdam already. But I was already earlier this morning in Rotterdam, also to make videos and to make enough material for several other tours. That will be coming on YouTube later in the season, when it's getting darker early at night, so in the winter time. So I have some really beautiful material that I made today. So that is for later. So I'm just gonna play some more music again, and of course I have to do this one too. Okay, thank you for the advice for the elderflower. Yeah, there are some youngsters also coming over here, and they're just kids playing a little. And of course, they were seeing all the photographers and wanting to flash them. So wanting to do some flashlights so to fuck up their pictures. But don't worry, it's a long evening and they're gone already. So, and I think I'm now again almost at the place where I started this tour. So that also means that I'm coming to an end. And I hope you enjoyed this magical evening with some lit up, some illuminated windmills here in Kinderdijk. So I really enjoyed it to be here and to show you this again this season, this year without any thunderstorm. So because that was last year. So, and I'm really grateful for all the support I said already before, members, tips, all that kind of things. That's how I can keep on doing these tours. And please share, of course, your best pictures. That can be in my Facebook group. That can also be in other sorry. That can also be in other Facebook groups, in the Hego Facebook group, the former Hego Facebook groups. So thank you for joining me. I will be there tomorrow already again with a visit of Nijmegen. That's in the eastern part of the Netherlands, the oldest city in the Netherlands from Roman times. So one of the two cities that we have from Roman times. The Romans did not come that far into the Netherlands, only to Nijmegen and Maastricht. So, but I hope you enjoyed it. So, and I hope to see you again, maybe tomorrow, and otherwise on Sunday I will have another tour, a nice Sunday stroll where I'm strolling and seeing the heather fields, also in the eastern part of the Netherlands. So, thank you. I'm just gonna show you a little more around for some last views. One moment. I'm just gonna play some last music while showing you the last part of this evening. Thank you again for joining, and I hope to see you again another time. I'm gonna play a song that's called Moonlight. No moon, but illuminated windmills.